Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast with Phil Graham. We help you master Facebook ads and give you an unfair advantage over your competition. Are you ready? Let's go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast, episode 281. I'm Phil Graham. Today, I'm going to be teaching you my 7-step formula to value bomb landing pages and Facebook ads. This is the formula we've been using that has been responsible for millions of dollars of sales. It's done so well for us, and I cannot wait to share it with you because it could be a total game changer for your business. It's not enough to just have great ads and great targeting. You also have to have a great experience on the other side of the ad, on your landing page or your product page or your sales page, wherever you're sending people. Now, most people don't. Most people have pages that are not optimized to convert. Most people have ads that are not good too, for that matter. But for somebody that might have a good ad that sends people to a page they might think is good, but it's not working, you're just flushing money down the toilet. You don't want to do that. A perfect analogy is like a dating app. Now, it's not something I use because I'm married, but imagine you're using a dating app and you check out somebody's profile and this person looks really good. And you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to meet this person. And you start talking and you schedule a time to meet up and get together. And you're really excited and you get there and guess what? They've got like one tooth and they haven't showered in a week. What's going to happen? You are going to get the heck out of there so fast. Well, I hate to break it to you, but I hope it's not you, but so many people run ads this way. A lot of people run ads that are like the one-tooth person, or they might run an ad that has a good profile, so to speak, but then you get to the landing page and you're the one-tooth person there. I do not want you to be like that person that has one tooth and doesn't shower. I want your ads to be amazing, and I want your landing pages to be amazing, because if they're not, you're probably going to lose money. So let's work on that today, my friends. Now, before we jump into the content, I'm really excited to mention that I was featured for a second time about a week and a half ago on John Lee Dumas's Entrepreneur on Fire podcast. So it was on Saturday, September 17th, 2022, that I was back on the podcast. I originally was on there in 2019, and the episode did so well, they wanted to feature me again. And so on the episode a week and a half ago, I taught his audience 5 steps to creating video ads that stand out and help you get more customers and clients. And I did have a free giveaway for them. And of course, I got to hook you guys up with that too. You guys get all the good stuff. So if you guys want to grab that as well, you can go to philgrahamdigital.com/fire, F-I-R-E, and check that out. And lastly, if you guys do want to get in touch because you're looking for some one-on-one coaching so you can finally learn ads the right way, because most courses are horrible, or maybe you want somebody to run your ads for you that you trust, you can go to my website, philgrahamdigital.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital, and I would love to connect with you and hear from you. Even if you have just topics for episodes that you want me to cover, I would love to hear from you on that too. I care, and I appreciate your input on that. So my friends, let's jump right into the main part of the content. I want to keep this short, sweet, and very actionable for you guys as usual. So we're going to be focused on value bomb landing pages today. I do have a 7-step formula that I religiously follow. And like I said earlier, it's been responsible for millions of dollars of sales for us and our clients. Now, that doesn't mean that it's guaranteed to just magically bring you sales. Anybody who says that is a scammer. It doesn't work that way, but it's worked extremely well for us. And so I highly recommend you put it into practice for you because, like I said, it could literally be a game changer for your business. Now, when it comes to landing pages in general, you really want to work to have your landing pages be pretty seamless with what your ad is. If your ad has a certain hook or a certain angle to it, and they come to a page that looks different, feels different, and doesn't even talk about that same angle or hook, that's not necessarily ideal. So you want to really aim for seamless ads to seamless landing pages. Also, you want to focus on benefits, not features. And I'm going to get into my specific 7 steps here in a second, but this is some general stuff. You want to focus on benefits. Too many people focus on the features, which people don't really care about that much. You want to make sure you also differentiate on your landing pages, and you don't want it to be too cluttered and crowded. Like I see that all the time. You also don't want to have too many options on your page. If you give people too many choices, they're going to choose nothing most of the time. So that's just a general overview of some tips for your pages, but I'm going to get into my 7-step formula right now. And this is what I recommend you guys do when you create a landing page for success to go with your ads. So step number 1 to my landing page formula is to have a hook at the very beginning of your landing page. That's right, a hook. A hook is something that's going to get somebody's attention. Just saying your name or having your name and title and name of your product or service, that is not a hook. That's not going to get somebody's attention. You've got to have a hook just like you do in ads. You know, I teach this for video ads and your ad copy. You've got to be able to get their attention with something that benefits them. So I do hooks that are benefit based, and I also try and mention what they might be trying to avoid. Now, I'm going to give you 2 examples that would apply to me, but when I'm working with clients, for example, I help them figure out those hooks. And you can think about hooks that could apply to you and your situation. There's thousands, tens of thousands of hooks that you could use when it comes to this stuff, but I want you to have an idea of kind of what I mean when I say hook. So here's one example. I could have a hook. I could have a page that starts out by saying something like, here's how you can leverage Facebook ads to get more clients and customers without being a slave to social media or waiting for years hoping you get lucky and go viral. That's an example of a hook. So what does that hook have in there? It has what they want. You want to leverage ads to get more clients and customers. And then it has what a lot of people want to avoid. You don't want to be a slave to social media and feel like you have to have your face in your phone 24 hours a day. And even when that happens, for most people, it doesn't even work. So they don't want to have to do that. They don't want to have to hope they go viral someday, because that almost never works as well. So in that hook, I'm talking about what they want and also what they want to avoid. And both of those things are things that I can offer them. And that's how I could start a landing page. That's how I could start a video ad or text-based ad. That's an example of a hook. Another example of a hook that I could use is I could say something like, I'm going to show you or teach you how a client got more impressions, customers, and sales in just 2 weeks of Facebook ads versus 4 years of posting YouTube videos every single week. That's another example of a great hook. A lot of people have experienced this. They posted on social media for a long time and really didn't get much from it. And I can show how somebody got more from a couple weeks of ads. And that is something that people want. So obviously those are specific to my situation, but your situation is probably different. And so you want to think about whatever you offer. This is whether you're a product-based business or service or a local business. You can always think of hooks, things that you have, things that you sell or you offer that benefit your customers or clients. And not only how do you benefit them, but what do you help them avoid? And that should be the start of your landing page. And that is what I would call a hook. And again, you could do thousands of different hooks. So you want to just brainstorm, create a list, and start with something and test it. So that's step 1, having a great hook. Step 2, you guys probably will know this if you've been listening to this podcast very long. Step 2 is value. So many people send people to landing pages that just have an offer. And yes, we still test that because every once in a while that might work. But most of the time, by far, having value on there before the offer works a million times better. So after our hook, we have value. And for me, a lot of times value comes with educating people, but it also can come from inspiration, and it can come from just caring and having empathy about somebody. You know what's even better? all of those things. So after your hook, if you can teach somebody something or inspire them or give them some hope, if you can do all of those things on that landing page before you ask for anything in return, your chances of success go way up, especially because hardly anybody does that. So we start with a hook, then we have value. We want to educate, entertain, we want to inspire, and we want to differentiate and show how our solution or our way of doing things is not only different, but better, and how it affects them and benefits our customers and clients. That's really important. And this value could be in the form of a video. It could be something like some paragraphs of something you write. It could be short. Sometimes one little sentence can totally change how somebody thinks of something and even could change their life. So don't get caught up in how long it has to be, but how much value can you bring somebody, regardless of how you do it? Bring the value. And yes, no matter what kind of business you are, you could be selling t-shirts, you could be selling courses, you could be a service business, local, any kind of business. You can always find a way to bring value. It may or may not be through education, but it could be through entertainment, inspiration, or many other ways. So find a way to add value. So we start with a hook, then we've got our value, which is educate, entertain, inspire, and differentiate. After the value is then when we have our offer, our call to action, whether we're selling something or we're wanting somebody to schedule a call with us, or maybe we want somebody to sign up for a webinar or a download lead magnet, whatever the case may be. That's when we have our call to action, our offer. When we do have the offer, we don't just say, okay, here's the thing we're offering. We actually talk about how that benefits them and why they should get it and what they're going to avoid, the bad things they're going to avoid by taking action. And that's how we give them the offer. So we've got the hook, we got the value, and we got the offer. That's the first three things. Now, underneath the offer, number 4 is what I call a credibility box. This is very important. Most people don't have a hook, or if they do, it's a really weak one. Most people don't have value. They don't have value at all, or they hide it behind an opt-in or a sale. You want to have that hook and value right away. And then most people have an offer, but it's not benefit focused. It's more based off of the features of what they're offering. So make sure your offer is based off of the benefits, not the features. But number 4, that credibility box, hardly anybody really has an effective credibility box. Now, I'm always saying this. It's not just what you're selling, but who is selling it is just as important. Doesn't matter if you're selling information, consulting, products, services, or anything else. People need to be able to trust you, and they need to be comfortable with doing business with you. So that's where your credibility box comes in. What I like to do in a credibility box is I like to share a little bit about my experience, our view of things, who we serve and why, what we're for and what we're against. Like, you guys know, I can't stand all the fake gurus out there and all the scammers that try and scam you. And I love helping great entrepreneurs do great things. And I like sharing that with people because that's who I am. And people need to know that. So you need to figure out for your company or yourself individually, what is that for you? What is your mission? Who are you doing this for? What are you for and what are you against? And you want to talk about that. You want to talk about some of your experience, maybe either a transformation you had or a transformation you helped somebody else have. And you want to do it in a way that is, number 1, interesting. And number 2, you don't want to just sit there and brag about yourself and list all these things that you've accomplished, because then that sounds way too vain and narcissistic, and that's too self-serving. You don't want it to be like that. You've got to do it in a way that shows why that's important to them. This is why you should listen to me because of this and this and that, and here's how that can benefit you. Always bring it back to, here's how that helps you. And that will be so much better. So having a really good credibility box can make a huge, huge difference. And that's number 4. Number 5, a testimonial box. So right after your credibility box, I would have a section. It could be a graphic, it could be a carousel, a rotating carousel, but you could have some testimonials in there from any of your previous or current clients or customers. And that's just to kind of reinforce what you're talking about in your credibility box. And then number 6, I like to do what I call a value recap. So I recap and kind of re-summarize the value that we talked about earlier in a much shorter form. So it's more of just a recap. So we're kind of closing it out with the value. And then lastly, number 7, I have the call to action, the offer again on the bottom of the page. So again, to revisit the 7 steps, you start off with a hook, you give some value, you then have your call to action and offer what you're offering, but it's focused on the benefits of what you're offering, not the features. Then you have a credibility box, then you have a testimonial box, and these don't have to be like literal boxes. These could be like sections. And then after your credibility and testimonial sections, you've got your value recap, and then lastly, the call to action once again at the bottom. And that is my formula for value bomb landing pages that have crushed it for us. So my friends, I really want you to try these things out because it is so powerful and so few people do these. It could really be a game changer for you. Episode 281 is in the books. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you put this into action. And again, if you want to get in touch, you can find me at philgrahamdigital.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you on the next episode. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast. Please remember to subscribe and share this with all your friends. For show notes, more tips, and to learn more about Phil, please visit philgrahamdigital.com/podcast.